Welcome back to Days. Today we will learn about the issue of power plays at Titan, DiMera's secrets, and how one clinic cover story could ignite Salem's next corporate war. Titan on the brink. The boardroom standoff between Xander Cook, Alex Kyriakis, Philip Kyriakis, and Brady Black explodes when Tony DiMera's maneuver to contest Titan's hostile grab of DiMera assets forces all four men to confront where their loyalties really lie and how far they will go to protect Victor's legacy. Tony's legal broadside, announced at a splashy one stormy night press event, turns a simmering feud into a public crisis, immediately putting Titan's executives on defense and exposing fractures that competitors can exploit. In the fallout, Alex fumes about being iced out, Brady rails at being kept in the dark, while Xander and Philip argue strategy, proving that even a shared last name can't guarantee unity when billions and reputations are on the line. Tony's legal gambit. Tony crashes the press conference and declares he has filed a lawsuit challenging Titan's hostile tactics, alleging fraud surrounding the corporate chess moves and signaling he has receipts to back his claim. Reports hint Tony is prepared to leverage forged letter evidence connected to Titan's leadership shuffle, daring the Kyriakis camp to face discovery that could embarrass the company and upend recent deals. The spectacle isn't just grandstanding. By forcing litigation, Tony drags the fight into a venue where DiMera excels: long games, slow bleedouts, and pressure that makes rivals turn on each other before the judge ever gavels. Maggie draws a line. Maggie Horton Kyriakis refuses to let DiMera history rewrite Victor's empire, confronting Tony with raw anger over an incursion that feels like a grave robbery of her husband's work and a family's identity. Her stance matters beyond sentiment. Maggie's influence reaches board contacts and old allies, and her moral authority can sway Titans and town leaders who still think Salem's companies owe the Hortons and Kyriakis as a measure of respect. With Sarah re-examining past grievances and acknowledging how quickly suspicion once poisoned family bonds, Maggie's message doubles as a plea and a warning: cross Titan now, and the blowback won't just be legal, it'll be personal. EJ's clinic cover. EJ DiMera pitches a free clinic, with the Tom Horton name attached, but whispers say the philanthropy masks a deeper funnel to secret labs, shifting cash from bedsides to black box science that could reshape power in Salem. Insiders preview weeks of dark schemes tied to EJ's projects, hinting that the clinic brand is a smokescreen for experiments and data pipelines that are far more lucrative than charity care could ever be. By wrapping this in civic goodwill, EJ builds PR armor while assembling a private research engine. A move that could give DiMera leverage over insurers, hospitals, and even law enforcement who might need access to his results one day. Stephanie in the crossfire. EJ appeals to Stephanie Johnson for PR support, dangling prestige and cause marketing, but the ask comes loaded: sell a story that may not match the ledger entries behind it. Stephanie's recent clashes around investigations and loyalties suggest she knows the stakes. One misstep could wreck her brand or entangle her in legal drama if the clinic's true purpose leaks. With Alex sparring publicly and privately, Stephanie sits at a three-way intersection: corporate messaging, romantic friction, and civic credibility, where any wrong turn could burn a bridge she needs tomorrow. Xander versus Philip. The uneasy alliance between Xander and Philip strains under Tony's pressure, exposing old scars about forged letters, inheritance shifts, and who truly protects Titan versus who protects their pride. Speculation spans months that Philip would counter Xander in any Titan leadership showdown, and recent coverage paints Philip as ready to reclaim the wheel the minute he senses instability at headquarters. If Brady pushes for transparency while Alex demands inclusion, Xander may be forced to pick between presenting a united front or cutting a deal fast. Either move risks alienating a brother or empowering an adversary waiting to pounce. Brady and Alex react. Brady's fury at being sidelined isn't just personal, it's a red flag for investors who equate secrecy with volatility, and that perception can tank valuations faster than any courtroom filing. Alex, once thrust into the heir-apparent narrative, now fights the stigma of being the last to know, a reputation killer for a would-be CEO who needs to project command and clarity when rivals are circling. Together, their agitation increases the odds of leaks, back-channel whisper campaigns, and rushed counter-moves, precisely the chaos DiMera thrives on when looking to pry open a competitor's armor. Chad's quiet alarm. Chad DiMera senses the danger radiating from EJ's orbit and confides his concern to Kat Green, a connection that hints at parallel probing into the clinic's finances and who really controls the switch inside EJ's grand plan. Earlier previews teased conflicts entwining Kat's investigatory work with DiMera dynamics, suggesting that what starts as due diligence could morph into a whistleblower moment if the lab pipeline proves as shadowy as feared. If Chad positions himself as the DiMera with a conscience, he could buffer family fallout, or become the subject of damage control if EJ frames him as the leak toppling their house of cards. The forged letter shadow. The forged letter saga still poisons the well. Questions of authenticity, signatures, and who benefited linger like smoke in a closed room, and Tony's lawsuit threatens to fan those embers into open flame. Video recaps and analyses trace how doctored correspondence warped succession narratives and pitted brothers against brothers, a history the court could revisit in Discovery with brutal specificity. Brady pressing Phillip to own up to forgery talk underscores how brittle Titan's current foundation is. A single confirmed lie could unravel months of positioning in a weekend of filings. Strategy on both sides. For Titan, the optimal response blends short-term unity with long-term transparency. Get all four principals in a room, choose a singular message, and put an independent audit between the company and the most radioactive documents. For DiMera, the win condition is patience, drag the case, widen the narrative, and keep feeding public doubt while EJ's clinic shield buys time to bankroll innovation that changes the game by the time a judge rules. If either side blinks into a settlement without shaping the public story, the victor may own a Pyrrhic prize, assets without trust, titles without the talent willing to stay. What happens next? Expect Titan's inner circle to meet under duress, tempers hot, with outside counsel urging a ceasefire that no one actually wants, while Tony readies the next headline to keep Titan reacting rather than acting. Meanwhile, EJ's clinic push continues in public as private allies weigh the risk of being linked to science ventures that could draw scrutiny, prompting Stephanie and others to hedge their endorsements carefully. And in the margins, Chad and Kat keep comparing notes. If their concerns align with Tony's claims, Salem could see the rare spectacle of DiMera pressure applied to DiMera's secrets, with Titan caught between rival truths. Next, we will dive into the heartfelt moments surrounding Sarah's joyful updates and the emotional twists in Salem's ongoing dramas. In the bustling corridors of University Hospital, where the air hums with the quiet urgency of medical routines, Sarah Horton finds herself at the center of some truly touching developments. Recently, she's been navigating the highs and lows of impending motherhood, and one particularly bright spot came during a routine 12-week prenatal checkup. Accompanied by Rafe Hernandez, who has stepped up as a supportive figure in this journey, Sarah beamed with pride as they reviewed the ultrasound images of little Tesoro, affectionately nicknamed Baby T. The tiny life inside was thriving remarkably well, with strong heartbeats echoing through the room and measurements showing perfect progress for this stage. Rafe, usually the picture of composure as Salem's dedicated police commissioner, couldn't hide his emotions. His eyes welled up as he gazed at the screen, overwhelmed by the miracle unfolding before him. He admitted that the thought of eventually parting ways with this child, once the adoption or custody arrangements are finalized, tugged at his heartstrings deeply. It's a familiar ache for both of them, having faced similar heart-wrenching decisions with their own children in the past, Sarah with her daughter Victoria, and Rafe with his history of family challenges. Yet, in that moment, their shared admiration for Baby T's adorable features, from the delicate curve of her forming limbs to the rhythmic flutter of her movements, brought a wave of pure joy. They laughed softly over how she already seemed to have a personality, perhaps inheriting a spark of resilience from her resilient parents. This checkup wasn't just a medical milestone, it was a reminder of the bonds that form in unexpected ways, strengthening their resolve to cherish every second of this precious time. As the day progressed, the hospital became a hub for more personal connections when Marlena Evans arrived for her own routine checkup. Sarah, ever the compassionate doctor, took the opportunity to open up about the recent troubles plaguing young Rachel Black. The little girl has been enduring a string of misfortunes that have left her family reeling, from mysterious tummy aches that turned out to be stress-induced, to the emotional void left by her mother's absence amid ongoing custody battles. Rachel's days have been filled with schoolyard bullying incidents and nightmares that hint at deeper anxieties, possibly tied to her grandfather Stefano DiMera's lingering influence in Salem's shadowy history. Sarah and Marlena shared a moment of genuine sympathy, their conversation laced with the wisdom of women who have seen their share of family heartaches. Marlena, with her decades of experience as a psychiatrist, nodded understandingly, recalling how children like Rachel often internalize the chaos around them, manifesting it in ways that break adult hearts. Sarah confessed that spending time with Rachel stirs up a whirlwind of emotions within her, memories of her own losses, like the tragic switch of her baby years ago, bubble to the surface. But beneath it all, Sarah's affection for the child shines through. She describes Rachel as a bright spark who brings unexpected light into her life, even on the toughest days. Their chat in the exam room, surrounded by the sterile glow of medical equipment, felt like a safe haven, where two strong women could acknowledge the pain of missing maternal figures without judgment. Shifting gears to an intriguing hospital encounter, Sarah and Marlena crossed paths again in the quiet confines of an exam room, where the atmosphere was charged with a mix of professional duty and personal revelation. This wasn't just a casual meeting. It unfolded against the backdrop of Sarah's ongoing efforts to support those around her while grappling with her own life's complexities. As they settled in, the conversation naturally turned to Marlena's health updates, but it quickly evolved into something more profound, highlighting the intricate web of relationships that define Salem. Now, let's turn to an exclusive angle that's been buzzing among fans. Does the beloved couple known as Zara, that's Xander Kyriakis and Sarah Horton, truly stand a chance at rekindling their flame? Their story has been a roller coaster of passion, betrayal, and redemption, marked by Xander's past as a reformed villain and Sarah's unwavering strength as a mother and doctor. Recent episodes have shown glimmers of hope amid the tension, with whispers of reconciliation floating through the Kyriakis mansion. Sarah, reviewing Marlena's latest blood test results, found herself once again puzzled by the lack of any abnormalities. Despite exhaustive checks, scans, hormone levels, and even experimental markers, nothing explained Marlena's lingering symptoms, leaving Sarah feeling like she had somehow failed her mentor and friend. The frustration was palpable. Sarah paced the room, her white coat swishing softly, as she voiced her disappointment in not cracking the medical mystery. Marlena, ever the epitome of grace, reassured her with a warm smile, insisting that Sarah had done everything right and that her symptoms were easing on their own, perhaps a testament to Marlena's resilience after years of facing Salem's supernatural and emotional trials, including her infamous possessions. This exchange opened the door for Sarah to express her gratitude in a heartfelt way. She thanked Marlena profusely for her therapeutic work with Xander, noting how those sessions had peeled back layers of his guarded exterior, revealing the devoted husband beneath. Building on that momentum, Sarah revealed a tantalizing possibility: she and Xander might actually have a shot at patching things up. Their marriage, once shattered by custody fights over Victoria and Xander's impulsive actions like his clash with his brother Philip, now seems poised for revival. Marlena, sensing the spark, offered to facilitate couples counseling sessions, drawing on her expertise to guide them through forgiveness and trust-building exercises. Imagine the sessions: Xander, with his brooding intensity, opening up about his fears of abandonment rooted in his turbulent family history, while Sarah shares her hopes for a stable future for their growing family. Sarah initially hesitated, doubting whether Xander, with his stubborn pride and history of dark impulses, would even entertain the idea. But Marlena, wise and persuasive, encouraged her to broach the subject gently. After all, Xander has always placed immense value on their marriage vows, fighting tooth and nail to prove his worth as a partner and father. He's the man who once faked a baby's death to protect Sarah, only to spend years atoning for it. Marlena's conviction stemmed from her own observations: Xander's lingering glances at Sarah during family gatherings, his quiet acts of support like ensuring Victoria's safety amid Salem's dangers. By the end of their talk, Sarah felt a renewed sense of optimism, ready to extend an olive branch. Could this be the turning point for Zara? Fans are rooting for them, especially with hints of Phillips' potential role in smoothing over past grudges. As these stories unfold, it's clear that Salem's residents are bound by threads of emotion, resilience, and unexpected alliances. Sarah's journey, from prenatal joys to mending broken bonds, reminds us why days of our lives keeps us hooked. It's all about the human heart's capacity for hope amid chaos. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the latest scoops.